Alrighty, y'all. So we got our what? I don't even remember her name. Arcana. We got her skills. And I'm curious to see. I didn't go over her patch notes on a video, and I do apologize. I was gonna do that today. Yesterday I just wanted a day off. You know, I've been recording too much videos every single day for quite some time now, so I just wanted a full day off to myself. That's why I didn't upload yesterday, and then today I was gonna do the patch notes, but then I just found out, they just dropped her skills. So she's a burst 2 supporter electric. As you guys know, electric characters have been getting the craziest love like ever. They've just been getting so much support. So we're gonna see what this character is working with. Oh, she's wearing a full-blown dress. Okay, she's wearing a onesie dress. Okay, let's skip all this stuff. We don't. Oh, hold on, that's so fire. Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. Okay. Let's take a look at her burst skill animation. That's what I care about, because this is a new character, right? Nikke exclusive original character. Even though, if her wallpaper for her LB3 is this and it's just circling around her, godlike wallpaper. But if her wallpaper is this, then it's not the craziest in my opinion. But her burst skill animation is really cool. Are we looking at a new crazy support? We have a burst 2 supporter here. So hey, I'm not gonna lie, is she gonna be better than Crown? Obviously not, but we'll see. Oh, that's a lot of text. She might be, we'll see. No, I don't think so. She's a supporter burst 2 rocket launcher electric character. Okay, her first skill, Awaken Destiny, activates when full burst ends, affects all burst 3 electric code allies who previously cast their burst skill if self is in the Wheel of Fortune status. Okay. Wheel of Fortune seems to be her burst skill. She is an electric code buffer. Again, electric is getting more and more love every single day. But yeah, the Magician, cooldown of skill 2 decreased by 75% for 15 seconds. Attack damage increased by 100 and what? Attack damage increased by 180% for 15 seconds. Affects all burst 3 electric code allies who previous cast their burst skill if the self is in the Wheel of Fortune status. What? Cooldown of skill 2 goes down by 75% for 15 seconds, and then she gives an attack damage buff of 180% for 15 seconds to electrical. I don't know if you guys realize, but Cinderella, the hardest hitting character in the game, is an electric character. Scarlet with Trina, also a nice combo, which Trina is also a burst 2, so I don't think you're going to be able to get that usage out of those 20 more. But what are we talking about? Where am I? Well, I'm Cinderella. Even what? And I'm not being funny. Wait, isn't Summer Anise also a burst 3 electric character? So why are they showing it as if she's not? Summer Anise is not here. What? Where is she? Summer Anise is a burst 3 electric character. She's not an attacker, but she is. And then activates when full burst ends, affects all allies, gives a 5% attack buff of the caster's attack for 10 seconds. Okay, sure. This is nasty. Skill 2, Cycle of Destiny. Activates when full burst ends, affects all burst 3 electric code allies who previously cast their burst skill if self is in the Wheel of Fortune status. Strength attack. What? She's giving an 180% attack buff to all electric code burst 3 allies who use their burst skill. So whoever used their burst skill, basically, whoever the burst 3 electric DPS is, they're getting these massive buffs for 15 seconds. Of casting attack for 15 seconds. What? Activates when the full burst and affects all allies if self is in the Wheel of Fortune status. That the cooldown of burst skill is reduced by 6 seconds. And then attack is increased by 50% of caster's attack for 5 seconds. Okay. And then activates when full burst ends, affects all allies, attack damage of 7.5% for 10 seconds. Bro, what? What am I reading right now? I'm not being funny, you guys, but this character is... Why are they doing this to electric? Why is it that electric characters are getting the love? Like, what is going on here? I'm... Summer Anise is an electric burst 3 character. So where was she here? Oh, she was the first one. I guess I missed her. But what? Okay. Her burst skill is a 40-second cooldown though, so ooh, there we go. But it doesn't really change the fact that she's... I don't feel like that matters though, because if you put her and Little Mermaid together, on top of her already having cooldown reduction for herself, like you could probably spam her burst skill, to be honest. I can get that to work easily. I can get that to work very easily, where this character becomes a 20-second cooldown character, especially since she has cooldown reduction herself and Little Mermaid has cooldown reduction herself, right? And then affects all enemies, deals 300% of final attack as burst skill damage, judgment damage taken increased by 10% for 10 seconds. This character is nice for electric DPS. Like, I wouldn't say you need to summon for this character, but any electric burst 3 DPS. So again, Summer Anise, let's just go to burst 3. Summer Anise, Cinderella, Iron, Guillotine. This might save, I'm not gonna lie, this character might save Isabel. That's how nasty this is. A 180% attack damage buff. Now this is only going to affect them after the full burst ends, but my thing is, if it lasts for 15 seconds and you get back into a burst skill, that's the one thing. So it's like, I don't think people are understanding this. If you haven't understood this already, this 180% attack buff and attack damage buff that she gives to your allies, because it's specifically burst 3 electric code allies, you're never gonna have this 170% attack buff or attack damage buff during their burst skill. Like, you could never use Cinderella's burst skill and have this procced, because it's after a full burst ends and it'll only apply to whoever just used their burst skill. They would have to wait 40 seconds in order to use their burst skill again. And because this attack damage buff and attack buff lasts for 15 seconds after they use their burst skill, they're not going to get this massive attack buff during the burst skill. But what this does mean is that these characters with their normal attacks are going to hit hard. Like Scarlet, for example, right? When Scarlet comes off her burst skill, she's going to hit hard with her normal attacks as she always does. Kind of the same thing with Summer Anise, kind of the same thing with Ayn, and realistically the same thing with Guillotine as well. These are a few examples of characters. In Cinderella too, these are characters who just hit hard regardless if they're using their burst skill or not, right? Because most of their damage comes from their skills. I would say Ain's damage comes from her burst skill to an extent, but realistically it's her summoning feather thing, right? Summer Anise's damage only comes from her skill too, so this is going to be good for Summer Anise. And then Scarlet, most of her damage, even though her burst skill is a crazy AoE, it does come from her normal attack as well, I feel like. So this character, Arcana, is about to be broken with some of these DPSs, and I can't wait to try this character out in terms of helping them do more damage after their burst skill. But like, how I'm seeing it is basically these characters are going to pop off during their burst skill, and then after their burst skill, they're just going to be hitting as hard as they were during their burst skill. Because 100% attack damage buff and 180% attack buff is just nasty. Not to mention, like, if I am running Summer Anise is also buffing up electric code allies. You know what I mean? Like, Summer Anise herself, electric code allies get a reload to be buff and an attack buff, right? Ayn herself gives herself a 70% attack buff when she uses, not even when she uses, anytime she enters burst gauge stage 3. So it's like, Arcana's about to be very, very powerful with a lot of these electric DPSs, but we'll see. I'm gonna have my videos for you guys. I'm gonna test her with all these DPSs, don't worry. You can expect a couple videos with Arcana and these DPSs, but she isn't like a must summon or anything. I wouldn't say that, but I would say she's definitely going to play a big role in helping electric DPSs do a lot more damage after they hit, their burst skill. So, hey, I'm liking Arcana. I don't think she's godlike. I don't think she's a must-have or anything like that, but I do think she is not bad at all. Hey, your boy Zxous, let me know. I think the CDR as well is very good. And I do, before I end the video, right, I do think with her and Little Mermaid, and possibly if I can fit in one last character on that team, I will have to work around it. But you could take her burst skill from a 40 second to a 20 second easily, because this is already 7 seconds, and then that's already 6 seconds. That's about what? That's 13 seconds you already have off from her skill 2 and Little Mermaid skill 1, right? You can get another character to fit in that last extra 7 seconds of a cooldown reduction. You can find a character to do that easily, and I will find a character. I'm going to have this character become a 20 second cooldown character, because in reality she only procs these things when you use her burst skill. And remember, because she is a 40-second cooldown character, you're not going to have this every burst rotation. It's just whatever she uses her burst skill, because they only proc when you have the Wheel of Fortune. And if it's a 40-second cooldown thing, that's not every burst rotation. So remember these little things. I'm gonna do a showcase, I'm gonna get it down easily, and it can have a meta team and get it done easily. Trust and believe. But for now, it's your boy Zxous. I'm out. Peace.